Hi YouTube, this is Ben Withers. This is going to be the second part of the level crossing video that I started. Picked up one of these Pico level crossing barrier kits, but not really happy with it. It's a double barrier, and Truro's level crossing always had a single barrier, so just one of those things you've got to look at these things and try and work it out. So what I decided to do, I'm going to make one up out of brass. So what I had was some of this brass strip. It's about 1/4 inch wide and it's probably about a 1/16 of an inch thick. And what I did with a Dremel is cut out two pieces, slightly wider this end, taper in this end. So got two pieces here, which the idea is I'm going to solder this narrow end, I'm going to solder this together, and then at this end where it's hinged I'm actually going to have I've got some 4mm round tube which will somehow sit in there, and it will taper back to nothing, and then I'm going to put some little braces in between, and then obviously that should hinge off that, the idea is it will hinge off that post. So what I intend doing first is soldering this end together. I think it's probably the wisest bit. Probably solder the first, I don't know, 20mm of it together, and I'm going to try, I've got this Cars, it's 188 solder paint. It's already got the flux mixed in with it, and it's actually a paint, so it's flux and paint all put together. I don't know if you can see, it's quite a gloopy grey finish, and the idea is you paint the surfaces and then apply a bit of heat, and in theory it will solder it together. So I am now going to give that a go. So if you bear with me, I'll get cleaned up and get it prepared, and we'll give it a try. Right, and here we are. We'll just put some of this flux paint on, do the two surfaces. First time I've used this, so hopefully this will work. I think what we might do is just apply a little bit of heat to it first. See, almost like pre-tin that surface, just like that. And you see that change to the flux colour, and I might just do now paint a little bit more of that on. And hopefully bring those two bits together and apply a bit more heat. So just put that just try and get those lined up quite nicely. I'll bring a bit more heat in and see what happens. Hopefully, but I can see it bubbling out of the edges, and fingers crossed that will have held it. If not, we'll have to go back to the old-fashioned way of soldering, but might just put a little bit more heat. Yeah, it feels like it's got it. But what I might do is just run a little bit more solder along those edges. I don't know if I move that apart. Yeah, it seems to have got it, so I think we're successful. but I'm a bit of a belt and braces man. I think I'll just run a little bit of solder along that edge, so do that, and then we've got some little spacers to put in between. Right, just bear with me, we'll be back in a minute. Right, so I've soldered a piece in here to spread this apart, so that'll make like a taper of the old barrier. Obviously I'll have a round post there, and what I've done here, I've had a little bit of probably like 3/4 millimeter brass rod, drilled a couple of holes, and obviously bent that around each side just to keep that together. I was going to solder a bit in between, and then I thought, well, it's not really going to hold that well. So the idea is, with that brass rod there, I'm just going to solder it up, and hopefully that'll hold those two bits together. Right, a little bit of, this is a car's red flux, and hopefully, if just bear with me. Right, we'll just get a bit of heat on this a minute, and hopefully I should have got that side. Fingers crossed. I'll just put a little bit of solder on this side, flux, sorry, on there. Give it a bit of heat. There we are. And that's that soldered. So that should got that quite nicely. And obviously bending that around each end, that little wire going through there, we're going to use when we go to operate. That I can put a rod on that down through the baseboard to a servo below to operate the signal. So I'll get this probably drilled out now and get those fixed together, and then we will be back again. Right, here we are. We've drilled the old through the bar there and through the actual tube, so that will give us our pivot for the barrier. I did put an extra brace in there, so that's a couple of braces in there just to give that tapered effect. Drilled through there, and what I've done, I've just had a bit of that brass wire put through, put a bend on it each side to hold that. So I'll just put a coat of white primer on it, so that should work quite nice, but probably leave you with that for the minute. So get this uploaded, and then we'll do another installment of getting it fitted and the little framework to go around that. But there we are. As I say, thanks for watching. Comments appreciate, and subscribe if you wish. Bye for now.